Adam, what more can you tell us about what just happened that will alter the landscape going forward moments ago in the NFL?
Trey, the NFL owners officially approved the new playoff format for the 2020 season. The 14-team playoff field is now set. The league adds a playoff team in each conference. It reduces the number of byes in each conference. And so on Wild Card Weekend 2021 of the 2020 season, you're going to see 3 games played on Saturday, 3 wild card games, and 3 wild card games played on Sunday, the last coming Sunday night. So there'll be more Sunday night football in the new playoff system. This is something that the league owners had talked about, expected, and now just formally approved moments ago. As you mentioned, the playoff field goes from 12 teams to 14 teams. The number of first-round byes goes from 2 in each conference to 1.
For more on the breaking news of the expansion of playoffs, we bring in NFL front office insider Louis Riddick. Louis, before we get to the expanded playoff picture, what I find most interesting about this is essentially how important that one bye week is now going to be for teams going forward in the postseason. Because the last time a team that didn't have a bye that made it to the Super Bowl was the Baltimore Ravens in Super Bowl 47. So that means we've had 6 straight Super Bowls basically with 1 or 2 teams. Everyone looks at the playoffs, but for the majority of teams trying to get into the postseason, that is really the crux of the matter.
Yeah, no doubt about it. And I think what that means is one of the intended consequences of this, obviously, is the league wants the NFL to be playing meaningful football games late into December, and there won't be teams that will be resting their starters because they can't improve their playoff seeding, and that's obviously what they want. And obviously this also means that there are going to be teams like the LA Rams last year, like the Pittsburgh Steelers last year, that wind up getting into the playoffs where some people may say, well, they don't deserve to be because their regular season record wasn't good enough. But the league also wants those stories. I think the league is enticed by those storylines, that being the team that gets in maybe is only a 500 football team or maybe slightly above, 9-7, 10-6, and then they get hot and go on a run. They think that makes for compelling storylines. I think the primary driver, though, is the fact that you will have meaningful football in the last 2 weeks of the season, in week 16 and 17. And who wouldn't want that? Everybody wants to see teams playing meaningful football games that last week of the regular season, and in 2020 now you're going to have that.
Absolutely. And the other thing, Louis, to look at, had this been in place last year, those 7 seeds would have been the Pittsburgh Steelers, and obviously they might not have made a big splash because of all the quarterback concerns they had. But the one in the NFC, that would have been the Rams. And we're talking about a team a year ago that made it all the way to Super Bowl Sunday and was within a few points of winning that thing before the fourth quarter. So it really does open up that possibility going down the road.
Yeah, no doubt about that. I mean, look, there's arguments to be made on both sides of that, meaning this, again, like I said earlier, some people will say, well, that kind of devalues a little bit your performance during the regular season, and all you have to do is make it in with this expanded playoff field, and then all you have to do is get hot, go on a run, and maybe you get to the Super Bowl, and you catch a better team on an off day. Well, maybe that is the case. Maybe that does happen, but the fact of the matter is this is what it's going to be. Again, late season football is going to mean something, and those teams that are, everyone's going to be fighting until the very last game to try and sneak in there. And who's to say, who knows what would have happened with the Rams had they gotten in? The likelihood is they wouldn't have been able to dethrone San Francisco anyway in the NFC. And Pittsburgh, as you mentioned, with the quarterback situation, they wouldn't have dethroned the Kansas City Chiefs. But you just never know, because we all know that NFL football is the greatest reality show on TV, and it plays itself out in real time. So this will just add to the drama, which is something I think all fans would look forward to.
Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming, sports, and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.